This roadster is something BMW can be proud of. The Bavarian car maker has produced a car that combines sportiness and automotive purism without sacrificing an ounce of creature comfort. It's a car that feels most at home on winding mountain roads. BMW built sporty roadsters in the 1930s and delivered a timeless classic, the 507, in the late 50s. BMW resumed building roadsters in the late 80s with the Z1. It was followed by the Z3, the ultra-exclusive Z8, and then the Z4. The latest version of the Z4 is even more sporty. The new tighter suspension is super on those sharp curves, thanks to electronic driving assistance. This unobtrusive feature assists the driver when accelerating and makes a real contribution to handling on curves. BMW has fitted the Z4 with a powered metal roof. Unfortunately, you have to stop to open or close the top. Compared to its predecessor, the new Z4 has a lot more cargo room, 260 liters to be exact. An optional through-loading system with integrated transport bag allows you to transport skis or even 2 golf bags. A look under the hood of our test car reveals a new straight-six 3-liter engine with 306 horsepower, the most powerful of the engines being launched. With dual turbochargers and a 7-speed automatic, the Z4's fuel consumption is said to be 9 liters per 100 kilometers. It'll go from 0 to 100 in just 5.2 seconds and hit a top speed of 250 kilometers per hour. If you'd prefer a little less power, you can opt for the 2.5-liter 204 horsepower engine, smaller but still a fantastic drive. The proportions of the 1.8-meter long hood are typical for a roadster. You can't miss the Z4 with its distinctive radiator grille, elongated profile, and squat rear end. The sporty design runs into the interior as well, with its eye-catching steering wheel and round panel instruments. There's nothing lacking in the workmanship here. The excellent lateral support in the leather seats makes driving even long distances comfortable. The BMW Z4 may be exactly what sports car fans have been waiting for. The 2.5-liter version starts at 35,900 euros. The step up to the 306 horsepower version will run you no less than 47,450 euros in Germany. For the first time in its 40-year history, Mercedes' high-performance subsidiary AMG has developed a car on its own, the Mercedes SLS AMG. The cars seen here are disguised to hide design features. These supercars are to be powered by a 6.3-liter V8 with 571 horsepower and will come with gull-wing doors. The car is scheduled to be introduced in early 2010. The world's biggest classic car show, the Technoklassica, has just ended in the German city of Essen. This year, it attracted more than 1,000 exhibitors from 28 countries. Experts say the market for vintage and classic cars has not been affected by the economic crisis. That's because investors are looking for material assets and feel confident that first-rate exclusive old cars will retain their value or even go up in price. On the French Riviera back in the 1950s, Edward Quinn had them all in front of his camera, the international stars and their exclusive cars. Together with her nephew, Quinn's widow recalls the work of her husband as she fingers through the book, Stars and Cars of the 50s. Nephew Wolfgang says he can imagine Yul Brynner and Saint-Tropez setting the tone in his beautiful and fast Mercedes 300 SL convertible. Another car that he says he particularly liked was the Ferrari 212e Vignale, owned by Ingrid Bergman's husband, the film director Roberto Rossellini. Wolfgang says Rossellini was a passionate Ferrari fan.
War ja wirklich der Ferrari-Enthusiast.
Edward Quinn started as a musician. He wasn't very successful, though, as the guitarist Eddie Quintero. And his stint as a radio operator for a charter carrier didn't make the Irishman happy either. He met and fell in love with both Gret Quinn and the French Riviera in the 1940s. It was there that the self-taught photographer began to take pictures of the stars and star wannabes. Gret Quinn says that Brigitte Bardot was a young, unknown girl when Ed Quinn first photographed her. She says her husband always liked Bardot because she was so lively and so innocent. Bardot, she says, was one of her husband's favorite models.
Und sie war ganz naiv auf eine Art. Und das war eines seiner liebsten Modelle.
Back then, just like today, people loved beautiful cars. Wolfgang Frey drives an old MG from the 1950s. A ride in this car transports Gret Quinn back nearly 60 years in time. Edward Quinn, who died more than 10 years ago, photographed high society on the French Riviera, ever so discreetly, like the first rendezvous between Prince Rainier and the American actress Grace Kelly. Their first meeting was a bit cool, as Quinn observed, but a romantic relationship later developed and blossomed into a great love story. The two reminisce over old photos, Marlene Dietrich, Picasso, and his car, a Hispano-Suiza classic. Wolfgang Frey reflects that was a time after the war when a sense of optimism and euphoria was in the air, a certain naivety that led people to show off their cars in this manner. He believes that wealthy businessmen, politicians, stars, and artists such as Picasso wouldn't do such a thing today. Whether sitting behind the wheel of a classic car or just looking through photos from a bygone era, you can feel the spirit of the 1950s come upon you.